Hey, welcome to Think Thursday from the Alcohol Minimalist Podcast. Think Thursday is all about your beautiful, brilliant human brain. We're talking neuroscience. We're talking behavior change. We are talking about your mindset. Are you ready to get started? Let's go. Well, hello and welcome to Think Thursday from the Alcohol Minimalist. I'm Molly Watts, and welcome to this shorter episode. Think Thursdays are all about neuroscience. They're about mindset and they are about brain health. And in fact, today I am doing an episode on brain health. Many of you have listened to the main podcast, Alcohol Minimalist, for a while, and you may have heard me talk about that. It wasn't my first rodeo. I had a podcast previously called Live Happier Longer, and it was really during Live Happier Longer that I got super interested in the brain and brain science and brain health because I really related to the idea of aging and what happens to the brain as we age. That was kind of becoming more and more important to me with my parents as they experienced aging. Now, many of you know that I actually work in senior living, so I am very much surrounded on a daily basis by an aging population, and I am very curious about what we can do to impact and really stave off things like dementia or cognitive decline or Alzheimer's, and also just how our brains continue to be able to change, right? So we talked about neuroplasticity back on the first episode of Think Thursday, how that's even something and a mindset that helps us remain optimistic as we age. All of it comes together, but brain health is so critically important. And today I want to dive into that a little bit deeper with a discussion topic about diet. Can your diet really impact your brain's health, which then makes it possible for your brain to have better neuroplasticity and for your brain to be more flexible in terms of creating different mindsets. So it's all intertwined, right? That's why we do these Think Thursday episodes. They're all about our beautiful, brilliant human brains. And let's talk about what foods might help your brain thrive, the ones that you might be eating that are holding your brain back, and whether supplements might be worth adding to your daily routine. Let's dig in. Let's start with some of the basics. Even though your brain only accounts for about 2% of your body weight, it uses up around 20% of your body's energy. What you eat powers your brain, and different types of food can either help or hinder its function. Truly, you've got to think of your brain like a car engine. If you fuel it with high quality fuel, it will run smoothly and efficiently for years to come. But if you like to give it a lot of junk, like highly processed foods or excess sugar, the engine starts to break down. And your diet directly impacts your brain's cognitive function, your emotional regulation, your memory. And obviously those things matter not only for aging, but we've talked about it a ton here on with regards to moderating alcohol or becoming a more mindful drinker. Both cognitive function and emotional regulation are super important. So, what's on your plate matters. Now, in the typical Western diet, it is very rich in refined sugars, unhealthy fats, and processed foods. And these are all particularly bad for brain health. Diets high in sugar and trans fats trigger inflammation in the brain, particularly in the hippocampus, which is the region responsible for learning and memory. A 2015 study in the Journal of Neuroscience found that diets high in fats and sugars impair memory and cognitive performance. This means that when you eat poorly, right? We all know we do sometimes, especially when combined maybe with alcohol consumption, you are really creating a perfect storm of factors that can lead to brain fog, poor concentration, and emotional instability. The junk you eat, the junk you drink, has long term effects also, not just on your waistline, but it can impact your cognitive abilities and your emotional well being over time as well. Let's say you've been on a fast food kick, followed by a few nights of drinking. You might notice that you feel more sluggish, that you have trouble focusing, or that you're even feeling more irritable. And that is no coincidence. That is actually a direct result of the brain inflammation caused by both poor diet and alcohol. Now, let's talk about what you can do to support your brain's health, right? This isn't a gloom and doom story. Eating a nutrient dense, brain friendly diet can dramatically improve cognitive function. It can reduce anxiety and depression, and it can protect your brain from diseases like Alzheimer's. One standout in this arena is the Mediterranean diet. You've probably heard this before. This diet is rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats like olive oil, also lean proteins such as fish. And a study published in the New England Journal of Medicine found that the Mediterranean diet can slow cognitive decline and reduce the risk of Alzheimer's by up to 40%. So that's significant, right? And why is it that we think that this happens with the Mediterranean diet? Well, it's because the Mediterranean diet is rich in some key nutrients for brain health. Number one, that those are omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3s, particularly EPA and DHA, are often referred to as brain food. These healthy fats that are found in things like fatty fish like salmon, sardines, nuts like walnuts, are vital for reducing inflammation and improving communication between brain cells. A 2014 study in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience highlighted that people who consume more omega 3s show better cognitive function and memory. B vitamins are another thing. So we got omega 3s, omega 3 fatty acids, and now the B vitamins. B12 and folate in particular are essential for brain health. They help in the production of neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, which regulate mood and cognition. Deficiencies in the B vitamins have been linked to increased rates of depression and cognitive decline. And you get your B vitamins from things like eggs, leafy greens, and whole grains. The last one that is a key nutrient for brain health are the antioxidants. These are foods like berries. Dark chocolate is a good antioxidant, and green tea, which is packed with antioxidants. And these help protect the brain from oxidative stress and inflammation. Oxidative stress is a key factor in aging and cognitive decline. So, antioxidants are super important, right? That's why. And studies show that people who consume an antioxidant rich diet have a lower risk of developing neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. That's where the Mediterranean diet again is very rich in all of these things: omega-3 fatty acids, B vitamins, and antioxidants. So, what happens if you aren't getting enough of these super, important nutrients for brain health? Let's talk about supplements. Should you take supplements for these omega-3s, B vitamins, or antioxidants if you can't always get them in your food? With omega 3s, if you're not eating enough fatty fish or other omega 3 rich foods, supplements can be a good option. Now, I'm going to remind you all, I am not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist even. So please know that I'm sharing information that is, available to you, and it's information that I've dug deep into over the past now 8, 9, 10 years with regards to having a healthy brain. So I feel pretty confident in being able to say these things. But of course, you're always going to want to talk to your own healthcare provider about, especially about adding supplements with regards to whatever you might be currently taking or whatever your current habits and routines look like. All right, back to the omega-3 supplements. Research supports the effectiveness of omega-3 supplements in reducing inflammation and improving cognitive function. Again, another study in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience found that omega-3 supplements can improve memory and reduce cognitive decline, particularly in older adults. So they're worth considering. But remember, whole foods are always preferred because they offer additional benefits like fiber and other nutrients. But if your diet lacks omega 3s, they might be a good idea. Not potentially fish oil. Well, fish oil has some other some other considerations. It's not as potentially as healthy for our hearts as we used to think it was or as necessary, but it might be good for your brain. All right, so got to weigh those things. And algae-based supplements are another alternative. So talk to your healthcare providers, please. But if you're not getting a lot of omega-3s, first, maybe try to add those into your diet. And again, we talk all the time about small steps, right? Incremental changes, doing something that's sustainable. One night of salmon a week is better than no nights of salmon ever, right? One night of salmon every 2 weeks is better than none ever. So make a decision about how you want to incorporate it and just try to commit to one small step, right? Okay, let's talk about the B vitamins. B vitamin deficiencies, particularly B12, are more common in certain populations like older adults, vegans, people with digestive issues. And in these cases, supplements can effectively address both deficiencies for other reasons and they can also improve cognitive function. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that B12 supplements improved memory in older adults with low levels of B12. That said, if your diet is already rich in B vitamins, supplementing beyond what's necessary will not provide extra benefits. You don't need to get more B12. It's always a good idea to check with a healthcare provider before starting B12 or folate supplements, especially if you're unsure about your levels, right? That's an easy blood test. So when you are getting tested for other things, check your B12. It's one of those deficiencies that can often, especially if you're feeling kind of fatigued a lot of the time, it may be a B12 deficiency. Antioxidant supplements. Antioxidants like our vitamin C and E are widely available as supplements, but the research here is more mixed. While foods that are rich in antioxidants protect the brain, studies have not consistently shown that taking antioxidant supplements deliver the same benefits. In fact, some studies suggest that high doses of antioxidant supplements can be harmful. For instance, high dose vitamin E has been linked to an increase of hemorrhagic stroke. So, again, you want to be careful with any supplements. In fact, honestly, I have moved away from taking a multivitamin. I go back and forth. Sometimes I take one, I think that I should be, and then I do some more research and then I don't. I really want to encourage you, as I encourage myself all the time, to really look for a balanced and rich diet to support my overall health and well being. The best advice on antioxidants is without a doubt to get those from whole foods, which also provide many other valuable nutrients. Now, let's tie this back to alcohol consumption for a minute. All right. As an alcohol minimalist, you're already thinking about how to reduce alcohol's impact on your life. And you might mitigate some of the negative effects of alcohol by focusing on a brain healthy diet. For instance, if you're planning to have a glass of wine, consider pairing it with some omega-3 rich foods or antioxidant packed berries to help reduce inflammation and oxidative stress. Incorporating more brain friendly foods into your routine doesn't just support your cognitive function, it also helps balance the effects of alcohol and give you more clarity and emotional stability. So, what can you do starting today? Right? We want to start taking some actions today. So, let's talk about adding those omega 3s into your meals, right? If you're not a fan of fish, how about some walnuts or flax seeds as a great alternative? They are, a great little flaxseed is a great add to your smoothies. And of course, what we said, if you're not getting enough omega 3s, you might want to consider a supplement. You can eat more antioxidant rich foods. Adding berries to your breakfast or your snack routine, blueberries and strawberries, are a great way to incorporate those antioxidants, and they are loaded with brain protective nutrients. Focus on whole grains and leafy greens for your B12 vitamins. Try to include foods like spinach or quinoa and eggs in your meals. If you're in a high risk group for B12 deficiency, consider checking with your healthcare provider about supplementation. And this one's super important. We just talked about all the things that you can do in terms of adding, but let's really look at and try to reduce processed foods and refined sugars. This might be the hardest, but it is probably the most impactful step that you can take for your brain's health. Swapping sugary snacks for healthier options like nuts or fruit can reduce inflammation and support clearer thinking. And bottom line is sugar over the course of your life and high sugar intake is actually linked to dementia and Alzheimer's and that the degeneration. So it's really something on a global basis that you want to, just like we're doing with alcohol, you want to look at your sugar consumption over time. We want to start reducing that, minimizing it as well. The bottom line here, diet plays a significant role in your brain's health, especially and not, especially when you are also looking at and trying to minimize your alcohol intake, right? It's all goes together. By focusing on brain friendly foods, like those foods that are rich in omega 3s, B vitamins, and antioxidants, you can improve your cognitive health as well as support your peaceful relationship with alcohol. Here's your challenge for the week. Are you ready? Try making one small change to your diet. I would say, if it's adding fish, great. But what I would really love is to see all of us decide to replace, reduce, get rid of something processed or something high in sugar that we're eating on a regular basis. Now I know that's not fair the week before the week before Halloween. How many of you have Halloween candy already at your house? You bought it early thinking, "Oh, I'll get it before everybody before everything's picked over," and now you've been picking at it yourself, right? I know I cannot be alone in that. I actually put my foot down with myself this year and said, "No, we're not buying it yet." But regardless, I know it's not fair, but I still want to encourage you to think about replacing a sugary snack with something natural like a fruit or a nut, something maybe high in antioxidants, or just replacing that high processed food with something not high processed. And I know that's, just a good salad, right? Small changes add up to significant improvements over time. And it's little small changes that we're willing to make, that we're willing to keep practicing, that we're willing to keep iterating on, that will lead to sustainable change for the rest of our lives. We want a healthy, brilliant, beautiful brain for just as long as we possibly can, right? All right. What dietary changes are you excited to try this week, and how do you think it will impact your brain's health? I would love to hear from you. If you are enjoying these short episodes on Thursdays, if you're getting something out of them that's supporting not only your relationship with alcohol, but behavior change in general, I would love to hear about it. You can email me, molly@mollywatts.com. If you've got something that you'd like me to talk about on Think Thursdays, it has to do with neuroscience or with mindset or with brain health, then I'm all ears. Send it to me and we'll talk about it. Have a great week, everybody. I'll see you on Monday.